Hello out there. Welcome to the Land Tamer stream. We're going to talk about some networking. We're going to talk about getting ready for an upcoming exam and where we're at, what our strategy is, and some cool tools I've been using. I hope you're having a good Thursday night out there, folks. It's Friday Eve. Of course, it's been Friday Eve for me since Tuesday because I'm on studycation day 2, and it's been a good day. I've gotten a lot done today. Been very productive. I've been trying to manage my energy, get the proper rest, take breaks, things like that. But I've been very focused today. And since I got up this morning, I've been pretty much working on study. So a lot about flashcards and more. 13 days till the exam. And this is day 345 of this vlog. So just a couple quick things, folks. This promises to be brief anyway. Tonight, my written plan is what I'm working on. Of course, the written exam is what I'm taking. CCIE version 5.1 written exam, routing and switching. So today I worked on layer 2 technologies. So that's been the gist of today. And I have to say, I did wrap up also network principles. So there's a few I went back and turned from C's to B's. There's one I need a little bit of practice on at some point. And then I had a lot here on layer 2, but I got through them pretty quickly for better or worse. So I still have a few more to go. PPP, I'm going to finish these up tonight. MLPP, I'm almost done with that. And then the Metro E and WAN Ethernet topologies. This is going to take a little work and going to take me through the rest of the night, I think. But yeah, as I've been going along, I've been modifying the drill sheet and using it and then working on flashcards. So in the flashcard department, I now have 261 cards, and these are very specific sort of questions. A few of them now, it started out to be just things related to like my notes from the fails, but now I've just populated with a whole bunch of stuff, just things that I've been learning by doing reviews and things that I know that I'm weak in that I need to test myself on over and over and over. So, man, I wish I would have done this probably earlier on. At least I'm doing it now during sort of this final sort of review sprint here in the last 13 days. So I can be focused on, the areas of memory that I need to focus on. So that's good. I have a lot of praise for the CCIE in 8 weeks material. I have to say, it has been awesome going through this. And it's probably the perfect thing to do. Like, it doesn't go really in depth. Obviously, the name, CCIE in 8 weeks, that's not really a possibility. In my mind anyway, unless, of course, you've been working in the field in a variety of roles for a long time. But it's really good for reviewing. I'll give you an example of how it's really helpful. So let's say, for example, I've gone through the blueprint. The blueprint is just that, the blueprint. It is the map by which I'm steering my preparations, right? Regardless of material. But there were a few here that I wasn't sure what it was talking about. Let me see if I can find, oh yeah, under today. So today, for example, we hit a section here under where is it? Yeah, it was under spanning tree. I think implementation, migration. Implement and troubleshoot. I will find it in just a second here, folks. Chassis virtualization, very good stuff. The IGMP was good stuff. Here we go. No, that's not it either. All right, I know there were some sections here in 1. Yeah, like excluding specific platforms architecture. What exactly does that mean? And I have to say, I have to give high praise on the CCIE in 8 weeks because it does come strictly from, albeit brief, it's actually the outline of the study guide is every single line of the blueprint. So if one thing is not really clear, like this is clear. I know a rib fib, L-fib, a JC table. I know, and the keyword here is identify, Ceph concepts. That's pretty straightforward, right? But describe basic software architecture between iOS and iOS XE, excluding specific platforms architecture. That's a very vague, and there's a few in here that are like that. Well, it's funny because oftentimes where this comes from, this wording, is from a very specific Cisco document. And that's what I found. So when I looked this up, for example, in CCIE in 8 weeks, which by the way, folks, if you have acm.org, you get access to the study guide through Skillsoft. And I just have to log in my ACM login. And it doesn't really have like a queuing thing to do here, but you just type CCIE. And there are 2 CCIE in 8 weeks guides. There's one for CCNP and CCNA professionals. I don't know what the difference is. This one has fewer pages, but they're both written exam cert guides. This is 3rd edition, 324 pages. This is the one I've been using. So all you do is you go to the guide. You can download portions of it, by the way, although you're limited. Like every 3 months, you can only download 9, I think. Let me see. So if I go, for example, to network theory, see, it has basically every bullet point, every line item in the blueprint. So let me find a good one here that was like, oh, okay. Yeah, there was one in Spanning Tree that was really good. I was like, oh, okay. Migrate parts of a network to networks to IPv6. Evaluate proposed changes to a network. Yeah, here it is. So it's under this 1.3, I think. No, 1.2a. 1.2. Really, this whole 1.2, I was like, okay, this is sort of designed. Evaluate proposed changes to a network. All right, what do I need to cover for that? Like, it's very general. Of course, it could include just about anything. But CCIE in 8 weeks, well, they've got a chapter here on evaluate proposed changes to a network. It's very brief, but some of these, I didn't mean to display that. Some of these will have a, let's move that over here. As you saw, it was only like a paragraph. But when you click the next page over, it often will have these, further reading. And this is gold, folks. Like, this is gold. So a lot of the material that is here, I'm finding, will link back to like a specific Cisco document. And that's why the wording is kind of broad and vague. But if you look in that article, it has specific references to some of this wording. Evaluate impact of new traffic on existing QoS design. That seemed very vague to me in the beginning, but after I read the snippet on CCIE in 8 weeks, I'm like, and it actually referenced a Cisco document. I was like, oh, okay, makes perfect sense now. Unfortunately, I will say, folks, and yes, I will probably complain about this on Twitter. No one will probably listen, but geez, I got this a lot, and which is unfortunate. Like, this book was revised in 2017. Granted, some of these articles are probably older than that. Look, the page layout design 2018, Skillsoft Ireland Limited, version 1.08420. So anyway, at some point, this link went bad, and that's not the one, but there were 3 or 4 of these today. Yeah, this was on PIM snooping. And I'm sure it was a great article, and I'm sure I could probably find it or track it down. Although, who knows these days? You may have seen on Twitter that I posted something about if you all have ever used the Cisco Doc Pages wiki, which is really cool. There's some really well-written stuff in there. Granted, yes, I understand the stuff goes out of date. It's hard to keep any of that documentation up to date. But instead of put a banner on it that says this is going to be decommissioned, and no, Cisco, at least Cisco Learning, has not responded. I've got a number of retweets and likes, but yeah, so I posted this tweet. Do we know if, well, 2 likes, and I didn't get much attention on this. And again, it's the holiday season. I realize this, but do we know if decommissioning, so this now has this entire site, DocWiki has reached EOL, which, did they ever publish an EOL date? It will be decommissioned late January 2019. And so I replied, do we know if decommissioning means a wiki functionality itself will no longer be available, or if the site and all its content being removed? Probably the latter. And my argument is, granted, there are probably some better places to get that documentation, but it's all in one place. It comes up on a Google search. And granted, some of it may be out of date, but some of those articles are written by, some of them are like tips and tricks from the community. So I'm hoping that decommission means they're just going to not allow the site the wiki functionality is going to be shut down, but that the content is still going to be searchable and available. Because Cisco has a documentation, a public documents, they have public documents issues, right? Maybe they should partner a little closer with Google or something. I don't know what obviously I'm way on the outside of what the work that it takes to maintain documentation. And I'm sure I have no understanding of all the work and complexities involved. I get that. But it just seems to me that some decisions there's not a lot of communication. And it seems like some things are moved, or that maybe some of the standards for documentation or publishing or maintaining documentation, I'm not aware of what those are. Like, there's not a lot of good, clear communication on, how to reference documentation for certification. I'm sure for products, so let's say for a product that I as a business has and that I have a service contract for, I'm sure I can find documentation on that. But what about older things that I'm running out there that maybe I'm using in my lab to study for an exam for material that there's still some really old technologies in the exam blueprint. Anyway, I'll stop ranting about that. You've heard me rant about it before. I'm sure no one's listening to actually do anything about it, but anyway, there it is. But I really do like this. And what I was looking at before I started the stream is on their website, CCIE in 8 weeks. So the material through Skillsoft gives you like a sort of study guide. It does not, and it has a few sort of questions at the end. They apparently have another product that you can buy separately that has a lot of tests, study questions, kind of like Boson. So I've been considering that. Let's look at that. Yeah, CCI round switch. So yeah, they have the exam cert guide, which is included in your acm.org subscription. But then they have practice questions. Yeah. And that is a separate membership. You can get a 3-month access pass. I don't think you can buy that separately. The exam cert guide only includes like most of the study material, but I may do this, although I probably won't, just because of time. They have an all-in-one membership as well for $159. So also they have a holiday sale of 10% discount on everything, which is not bad. Anyway, I really like the product so far, and I'll do a full, review of it post-pass on a number of products post-pass. But anyway, that's where we are. So that's about it, folks. I just have one question for you, trivia question that relates to my work yesterday. What is the size of a runt frame? If you know the answer, go ahead and post it in chat, or just if you're lurking, which is cool. I'm totally cool with that. Just think about it in your head. What is the size of a runt frame, and why is that important? Why is that important? I added a whole bunch of Anki cards related to like frame sizes, minimum, maximums for Ethernet, for IP packets, for TCP packets, and Ethernet frames, and 802.15.4 traffic. All the minimums, the maximums, etc. And it's really cool stuff. Important to know, right? So what is the size of a runt frame? And you'll see these sometimes when you do, right? You do a show interface counter errors, or show interface counters, and also show interface details. I think you can see it there. Casadix, hey man, good evening. Did you think that an ACM subscription is a valid resource for certifications? I can hardly answer to a yes on that, Casadix. And thank you for asking. Here's what you get with the acm.org 1-year subscription. By the way, I think there's a student subscription as well, and a professional. There's a couple different tiers. I think mine costs $100. Or I might have got it on a deal, but here's what you get. So you get safaribooksonline.com is included, and that has many, many, many Cisco Press books. It has video instruction. It has thousands of technical books. I mean, it's got a lot in there, and they're continue adding things, but a lot of the books that if you watch I&E or get their materials, they say, here's a list of books you should read for the CCIE. Quite a few of them are in there and included as part of Safari Books Online. The other thing you get that I've discovered is Skillsoft Access, and that gets you CCIE in 8 weeks. So let's just put it this way. If you were to purchase the CCIE in 8 weeks, I think that was like $79. The Safari Books Online subscription, now they do have special promotions from time to time. I know that. And I'll just tell you that in previous years, I've actually purchased Safari Books Online outright. So I spent way more than I needed to. Also, the CCIE and CCD Evolving Technology Study Guide that I just reviewed is there, which is retail. It's a whopping $79 now, I think, which is way overpriced if you ask me. But anyway, you get that there. It also has this IoT book from my history. It's a separate book, live lessons. This is video instruction, live training. But let's say it looks like I signed in, interestingly enough. I think it's like $179 a year discounted. Yeah, it's on the sign up page. Okay, so check this out. Wow, I think that has gone up. Wow, $3.99 a year? I've always done year to year. Like, I don't remember it being that high. It must have just gone up. Yeah, I've always done the yearly plan, not the monthly plan. You save, basically 2 months worth. So I think I've gotten Safari Books Online twice. Wow, that is... Yeah, so obviously, folks, I don't know how long it's going to be this way. I don't know how they can afford to do this. But the acm.org subscription is, I think, $99 a year. Don't quote me on that, but... So that's... I mean... You're going to be approaching like $1,000. If you were to buy all these outright, it's a huge savings, right? We're talking $4.99 plus $79. I don't know how much Skillsoft subscription is. Actually, if you just do Skillsoft, banner ad. The cookies, folks, the cookie prompts. So annoying. Perspectives in Orlando, Florida. Interesting. How much does it cost? No, don't take me to the home page. Okay, here's a review. Well, this is how you log in. It doesn't... Yeah, I don't see. They want to hide this from you, right? Let's hide this from the internet. Make you try to sign up first. Skillsoft goes private. Yeah. Skillsoft pricing. Okay, so, looks like that could be about $100. Who knows? Yeah, Skillsoft, good job. Make it really hard to find out how much something like that costs. Yeah, so ACM it's a great deal. I agree, Casadix, for sure. That's why I definitely signed up for that. Anyway, a runt frame, I believe it's 68 bytes. And that is significant because that is the minimum allowed size of an Ethernet frame. So obviously, if it's a runt is less than, I should say, 68 bytes. So something is wrong with the frame because no host should be generating Ethernet frames less than 68 bytes. If they are, something is wrong and there's going to be a problem down the line. So those are generally dropped. So anyway, that is a trivia for the day. And the meat chunks, folks, I don't know if I've mentioned this in the past. I may have. This is a free publication that I've known about for years. I mean, years. And it only comes out quarterly, I believe. They publish a new journal. And generally the journal includes articles that are very in-depth. Like it'll include one main, very in-depth article that goes somewhat deep. And that's it. But it's well written. And it's free. So yeah, I definitely recommend it. As far as I know, it's free. Issues. Let's see. Okay, so apparently you cannot go back. It's been out for a long time. But apparently you can't get back issues except to 2013, which is interesting. But I seem to recall still getting emails on this. Anyway, check it out. It's a cool resource. thanks for stopping in, folks. I'm going to get back to it. I got some more Layer 2 technologies to finish up. Thanks for hanging out with us in the chat. Of course, as always, if you miss a vlog, I upload all of them to YouTube. And also you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram and in Discord. And Discord, we have some great conversations generally every day. So check us out there. Thanks so much for stopping in, folks. Sending everybody good bits in your studies. Y'all have a great night, and we shall see you back here. Tomorrow I have the night off from streaming. I'm going to carry on that tradition, even though I have the day off, and I'm going to be studying. But we'll be back here Saturday, and by then I should have some labs to do as well. So I'll announce on Twitter and or on Discord. So stay tuned there. We shall see you back here soon in the Land Tamer stream. Have a great Friday.